School District 45, Deanna Grubbs. Beaufort County School District, Laverne Stewart. Berkeley County School District, Cynthia Zimmerman. Calhoun County School District, Amanda Dukes. Charleston County School District, Nathalie Bennett. Cherokee County School District, Brandon Watkins. Chester County School District, Ali Leibkap. Chesterfield County School District, Jennifer Bird. Clarendon County School District, Anna Floyd. Clarendon County School District, Felicia Moore. Colleton County School District, Kawhi Elliott. Darlington County School District, Gladys Sellers. Dillon County School District 4, Rebecca Stader. Dorchester School District 2, Shannon Marler. Dorchester County School District 4, Lauren Lucas. Edgefield County School District, Tiffany Burton. Fairfield County School District, Marissa Davis. Florence County School District 2, Kim Jenkins. Florence County School District 3, Contessa Bradley. Florence District 5 Schools, Brittany Carter. Georgetown County School District, Benjamin Tester. Greenville County Schools, Wendy Franz. Greenwood School District 50, Beth Justison. Ware Shoals School District 51, Carla Owens. Greenwood School District 52, Keely Wofford. Hampton County School District, Rebecca Evans. Kershaw County School District, Linda Branham. Lancaster County School District, Micah Parker. Lawrence County School District 55, Connie Lewis. Lawrence County School District 56, Olivia Gardner. Lee County School District, Mavette Doyley. Lexington School District 1, Sue Carter. Lexington School District 3, Jacob Prost. Lexington School District 4, Chelsea Tyndall. School District 5 of Lexington and Richland Counties, Elisa Westfall. Marion County School District, Tracy Oakley. Marlborough County School District, Sue Rogers. McCormick School District, Janet Rushton. School District of Newberry County, Sabrina Martin. Oconee County School District, Amy Snyder. Orangeburg County School District, Carol Dean. Palmetto Unified School District, Ryan Bartola. School District of Pickens County, Mackenzie Martin. Richland County School District 1, Caroline Carson. Richland School District 2, Tracy Mason. Saluda County Schools, Jessica Jennings. South Carolina Department of Juvenile Justice, Cecilia Brown. South Carolina Public Charter School District, Juliana Smith. South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind, Leslie Aycock. Spartanburg School District 1, Alex Colson. Spartanburg School District 2, Julie Keeling. Spartanburg School District 3, Summer Carling. Spartanburg School District 4, Jennifer Brown. Spartanburg School District 5, Kelly Jewett. Spartanburg School District 6, Katie Colwell. Spartanburg School District 7, Miana Hall. Sumter School District, Denise Robinson, Deborah Robinson. Union County Schools, Catherine Prince. Williamsburg County School District, Kimberly Caraway. York School District 1, Michelle Shaver. York School District 3, Suzanne Moore. We made it to the Ys. Let's give our District Teachers of the Year a hearty and sincere round of applause. And now it's time to meet the finalists for the 2024 South Carolina Teacher of the Year Award. First up, from Horry County Schools, Mrs. Renee Atkinson.
I love teaching, and when I say I love it, there is nothing I love more than being in a class full of kids. I do what I do because I feel like it's what I'm led to do. I know that teaching is hard, and I don't think that teaching has been any harder than it has been in the last 5 years. And there have been a lot of days when even I have felt like giving up and throwing in the towel, but when you look at children and knowing what they need and the skills they need to learn and be successful, that's what keeps me coming back every day, is that if I don't do it, who will?
She makes me feel at home in a way, and if I'm having a rough day, I don't ever have to think about being fake about it. I can always be real about how I feel. And I know that she's going to look after me and care for me in that kind of way.
Renee is a phenomenal person and a phenomenal teacher. And we're just so very blessed to have her here on our staff. I've seen her in the role of instructional coach. I've seen her in the role of teacher. I've seen her in the role of parent and friend. And no matter where you see her, she's the same. And the kind of love and compassion that she has for what she does, it's infectious.
I would be honored to represent the state of South Carolina as the Teacher of the Year. I think there is no greater honor for a teacher than to represent your peers. There are so many teachers who don't get celebrated, and to be able to speak for and be the voice of all the teachers in the state of South Carolina, I just don't think there's a greater honor for a teacher.
Thank you so much for those words, Ms. Atkinson, and I will use them. There is no greater honor than celebrating our teachers, and I want to make sure that we recognize each and every one of you. And that's why my sincere apologies to Anderson County School District 1 teacher finalist, Fran Bailey. I did not say her name, Ms. Bailey. I apologize. My sincere regrets, and we will move on with our district finalists. Thank you again for that. From Jasper County School District, Amsavali Velayuthan. Please take a look at the video.
Teaching is really a noble profession. It is not about teaching, it's something else that when you touch the lives of children, and I've been touching since 1987, but to me my passion has never declined. It's growing in enthusiasm, and I want to be learning more because a teacher is an ageless student. I don't feel shy to ask questions. That's where I learn. I teach my children to question. I teach my students to be prepared at all times and to be meeting things as it comes.
One thing that really sets Miss V apart is it's not just like learning. Like she is a very firm teacher, but she always makes sure it's like we're okay emotionally. Like she always says, "How are you doing?" Or like she tells us good morning every day, have a good day at the end. Like she really focuses on like us as a person too, instead of just academically.
Ms. V is definitely a special one. She, what I like about her is her spirit is really infectious. My first day in the building, she said, "Anything you need, I'm here to help you. I want to do whatever I can for the students at Jasper." And I really appreciated that. And that was on a Saturday when I first came in the building to give out schedules. The students hadn't met me yet, the teachers hadn't met me yet, but she approached me and was really inviting. It was very welcoming.
Ms. V is like a second caring mother, because even though I already have my mother, Ms. V is my school mother. I'm always there to help her, just like how she's always here to help me.
If I was named South Carolina Teachers of the Year, I'm going to emphasize on how to be perfecting some things that we already have in place. It's not that we are lacking or deficit of resources. We do have the tools. It's how to utilize them, how to approach certain things. It's not what they need to have, it's not what they want to teach, it's how, the process. The same thing I apply even in my class, teach them the process to the product.
And next, from Lexington School District 2, Ms. Ann Reamer. Please take a look at the video.
I'm fortunate that I'm a business education teacher because we can not only do all of the accounting and finance and business law, but we have the option to do what I do, multimedia, animation, advanced animation. My passion comes from the relationships that I've made with students along the way.
Ms. Reamer is very supportive and she's very patient, and that is very important to me, to have a patient person, especially with a class that is so complicated and high tech. Everything is new, and like you don't see this in your day-to-day life. So having a teacher that is so well trained and knows what she's doing and is so patient and understanding is very helpful.
One great thing about having an Ann Reamer on your staff is she is an expert in her field. She knows what she does, you know, with all the technical things and all that, but the biggest asset is she is an expert in relationships with her students. And once a teacher figures that out, it makes an administrator's job much easier, for sure.
I teach because these kids keep me young, number one, and number two, I like the positive change that I make in people's lives. I choose the schools that I teach in. I've moved around to 4 different schools throughout my career. Each thing that I've learned, I've bettered myself along the way to learn more and more things. Being named South Carolina Teacher of the Year would be the definite highlight of my entire career. I have poured blood, sweat, and tears into this career through all of these many years. I've drugged my own personal children to every football game and basketball game because I was there filming, I was there taking pictures, directing pageants, all of those type of things that bring me closer to the relationships with the community and the students that build up those schools. And I would be doing it for them and for everything that we've all worked so hard for, and especially to showcase the love of my life, which is career and technical education.
Thank you, Ms. Reamer. And from York School District, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wayne Williams.
I was in industry for 20 years, and I was loved what I did, loved working in manufacturing, but it wasn't very rewarding. So when I come to education, the opportunity to work with young people, coming here and being here for 10 years, I learn more and more every year that working with them and seeing them enjoy learning, putting them in positions to enjoy learning and getting up and working with their hands and doing something that they didn't think or didn't know that they could do, to see their passion for learning is what makes it fun for me.
He is such a natural teacher to watch and engineer someone who is a very successful engineer but had something lacking and wanted more fulfillment, watch him every day in the classroom with no formal education background. It's just amazing to see how he relates to children, how he manages his classroom, how he uses different strategies to be sure students know what to do, and then to celebrate their success. He just naturally, it's just a natural teacher. He was just born to do this.
He just feels more like family in the classroom, on the field, anywhere. And a lot of it's project-based learning, so it's not like we just sit here every day at a computer waiting to take this test. It's actually in the shop, working on things and knowing that we're making a difference, helping the community.
I've been extremely humbled through all of this so far. And I can't imagine being more humbled by everything than I am now. But for me, I would grow a lot. I would learn a lot, and it would be an honor to. And it's crazy to think about representing an entire state, but it would certainly be an honor.
And our final finalists for Teacher of the Year from York School District 4, Mrs. Mandy DeMayo.
Every day I walk through this school and I ask myself, what am I going to do today to make a difference in a student's life? Giving students the tools to learn can empower them to be successful, not today, in every area of their life.
I've worked with many literacy coaches. This is the 5th elementary school I've been in our district, and she is by far superior to anyone that I've ever worked with. You give her something and she just runs with it. She is, like, I call her the doctor of literacy because she goes in and diagnoses what children need, and she makes the magic happen.
When I come to a struggling student, I'm going to do whatever it takes, whatever I can. I'm going to outsource. I'm going to meet with community members. I'm going to coach the teacher to give her the best instructional practices she can to support that student.
She means like a lot to me. To me, she seems like part of my family. And because of her, I really want to be a writer.
To have somebody like Mandy to bring literature and literacy alive for our school, but not for just our school, the district, because those coaches work together. They meet twice a month on Mondays and they talk about what's best for children and how to make literacy come alive, and I'm just so blessed to have her here.
When I think about being South Carolina Teacher of the Year, I feel like every student deserves someone in their life that will do whatever it takes for them. I feel like every teacher needs someone in their career path that will do whatever it takes for them. I feel that same way about administrators, and I feel like I had someone in my life that was willing to do whatever it takes for me, and that's why I'm sitting here today.
Well said, each of them. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our District Teachers of the Year and finalists for this year's South Carolina Teacher of the Year Award. It's my pleasure to welcome Rita Allison to deliver today's invocation.
Thank you, and let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this thankful day of beautiful scenery, beautiful weather. We're thankful for all the hands who put this together to make it so festive for all of us. We thank you for the leadership, for our governor and our first lady, our superintendent of education, and all those who work so hard daily. But we are so thankful today, dear Lord, for the gifts that you have put before us, the gifts of profession of teaching, those who have used their education, their profession, their brains to plant the seeds for our future in this state. We're thankful for each and one that is here today. And dear Heavenly Father, we know that there are thousands that are not here today who work hard, and those that are here today exemplify the success that we have through their profession. We're thankful for them today, dear Lord. We're thankful for all the blessings that have been bestowed on this state and the people of this state. And we ask for those blessings to continue as we strive day to day to move this great state of South Carolina forward. Bless the hands that prepared our food today, and bless our food to nourish our bodies so that we do the one thing that is the best in life, and that is service to others. We ask all of this in thy holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Allison. At this time, guests seated at tables 1 through 20, you may begin your way to the food stations that are set up closest to you, tables 1 through 20. And for the guests seated at tables 21 through 40, you are invited to refill your drinks. You will get to make sure that you get to those food stations a little bit later. For those 1 through 20, don't forget your friends will be coming after you. For those 21 through 40, please refresh your drinks. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. Guests who are seated at 21 through 40, again, tables 21 through 40, you are welcome now to make your way to the food stations. And thank you for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. We hope you are enjoying the company of people at your table, old friends and new friends. We hope you've enjoyed your meal. We ask that you make your way back to the table right after you finish taking pictures with the governor. I don't think the governor would mind at all. All right, so as those of you who are able to make your way back to the table, we know we have a few people who are in the line. I will begin back with our program. Okay? Governor told me to go ahead. Well, this is about you, sir, so as you continue enjoying your meals, it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for today's celebration. Henry Dargan McMaster became the 117th governor of South Carolina, January 24th, 2017, following then Governor Nikki Haley's appointment as United States Ambassador to the United Nations. He was elected to a full term as governor in November 2018. Governor McMaster has led a strong and vibrant South Carolina economy, announcing more than 79,000 new jobs with more than $32 billion in new capital investments in this state. Under his leadership, the state has made transformative investments in the classroom by expanding full-day, 4-year-old kindergarten, raising K through 12, yeah, that deserves applause. Raising K through 12 teacher pay and placing, that deserves applause as well, and placing school resource officers in our schools. Keep that clapping going. Colleges and universities are becoming more accessible and affordable due to the governor's tuition freeze and by his doubling of funding for needs-based financial aid for in-state students. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the governor of South Carolina, Governor Henry McMaster.
I got a few notes here, but she already gave my whole speech. I want to thank you all for coming. We're booming. Don't y'all like this place? Isn't this a nice place? Well, Peggy went back to the house maybe to look at the bulldog. By the way, those of you, he is the most famous bulldog in the world. His name's Little Mac. And we've closed more business deals here with that bulldog. I'll tell you, when the Samsung people were here, we had a dinner in there, and this has happened with others as well, but that was the first one, as in 2017. And Samsung, President Trump wanted Samsung to open a plant in America making washing machines. And so they came over, and then next thing you know, later he had put a tariff on them. But we worked things out. They had worked in so tightly with the University of South Carolina and Clemson at our recommendation that they were able, the tariffs didn't hurt them. They were able to get the machinery going so much quicker than they expected because of some ideas that they picked up from working with USC and Clemson, that it didn't hurt. But before all that, we had a dinner in there, and their top executives were there, and the brain trust from Samsung is a man named Dr. Choi. He's a very bright fellow. He's the real leader. And so there we were having a very nice dinner. I had the Secretary of Commerce and some various legislative leaders, and everything was going well, but we're about to run out of conversation. People were starting to get a little bit itchy. And that time, Peggy went upstairs and brought down the little 3-month-old bulldog puppy, English bulldog. My daughter explains why the children like them. As you look at them, they're really just 4 big circles. There's the rump, there's the head, there's the belly, and there's the chest. And the legs are about that long. They have no nose. So they're just like a big bunch of little soft balls, and they're all round. You watch them when you see them, you'll see what I'm talking about. But she brought him down. He was about 3 months old. And ladies and gentlemen, those senior executives melted down to the floor and were wallering around with the bulldog, taking pictures of the bulldog. You should have seen them sitting there smiling with the bulldog, taking a picture. And on the way out the door, Dr. Choi says, "We are coming to South Carolina." And they did. Last year we had a record year. We had a $10.7 billion in capital investment that we were involved. The State Department of Commerce was involved. There are a lot of other things that smaller and others that we're not involved with, but that's a record. That's about sometimes twice as much as we usually have while we've been growing for a lot of years. But that just knocked every record that we had off. BMW put in a lot more money. There's Max Metcalf, put in $1.7 billion more dollars. Y'all know that that was Samsung's first plant in this country. The BMW, when Carroll Campbell was governor, they went in and got BMW to come over. BMW has now put in over $12 billion in that plant, which is their most productive in South Carolina, in the world. I think they have 15 worldwide. That's their most productive. They make a brand new BMW rolling off of one of the assembly lines up there outside of Spartanburg every minute and 6 seconds. So if we sit around here for a few hours, everybody here can have a brand new BMW. Just talk to Max. But all that booming, what does that mean? That's where y'all come in. Because we have to teach these children. We have to bring them up and have to get them ready. That's the two main things, the two challenges that we have now in this state, is having enough people that are ready to go to work and having enough power to supply what the companies need. And it's getting tight. So many are coming in. Good companies require a lot of electricity. And it's tight all over the country, but it's tight here too. But we have an advantage when it comes to providing workers. And that is because of who we are in South Carolina. Now, you don't have to be born in South Carolina to be a South Carolinian, but you do have to be infected by the culture to be a South Carolinian, y'all, as they say, you know. You go up and speak to some of our friends from other places, and they say, y'all, and they say, well, is that plural or single? I say, that's singular. All y'all is plural. Everybody knows that. But our job, and we have an advantage over the other states. If you read and look into the magazines and the newspapers, televisions too, you see that everybody is coming towards the coast, towards the sunshine. That means towards the southeast, right, Tommy? Coming to South Carolina. In fact, there was a general in charge of recruitment for the United States Army that said that if the Army would let him on the quotas that he has every year for bringing in soldiers, if they'd let him, he could get the entire quota for the whole country from 5 southern states. Why is that? That's because the people in our state, whether we know it or not, have been brought up and created a culture over the years, starting in 1670 when they first came to then Charlestown. That's when the Europeans came. The Native Americans were here before that. But that's when the Europeans came, and that's where the West Africans came. Some voluntarily, others not. The West Africans, of course, were not coming voluntarily. But we have created a culture over the years of one of military and Judeo-Christian traditions and military traditions. And you put those together among the same people that came from those different places at different times under different conditions, and then put them in paradise, the most beautiful place in the world, all the not only the seasons and the air and the water, but the beaches and the low country. Every time I fly over the low country and look at the rivers and the marshes, I get thrilled and want to go down there. But if you get down there, you can't see them as well as you can from up there. But when you put those people in those conditions in paradise and then subject them to wars, we've been in every war the country's had. We've had people been in it. Hurricanes, fires, lately COVID, all of those things, storms, put them through all of that, you end up with some strong people. You end up with people that the chairman of BMW said at their anniversary, 25th anniversary a few years ago. He said, South Carolina is a handshake state. When someone from South Carolina gives you their hand, he said, I'd rather have that than have a signed contract. A handshake state. I've heard that again and again. Also, a man that was there told me that when Mark Clark, great general, 4 stars, World War II, later president of the Citadel, was speaking down there, and he said there's more patriotism per square inch in South Carolina than any place in the world. Now, you look at that for a minute. Here we are in paradise, and these people have been through all this, have different backgrounds, different talents, been through all of this. We have the people that these businesses, we often don't realize how special we are. Was it Robert Burns, oh, the gift the giver give us to see ourselves as others see us? Well, we just think everybody's like we are, but they're not. There's a difference. They're great states, great people everywhere, big people in other countries. But there's something about the people of South Carolina that these people who invest in hundreds of millions and billions of dollars want to hire our people to do their work in their companies. They bring in some executives, but the rest, they hire our people. So that is where you come in. The 3 great pillars of our strength are our economic strength, our beautiful environmental capacity, which we must protect, and our educational strength. And if we can educate these people, our people that are here, those that come, those who've been here forever, if we can educate them and train them, then there is no stopping South Carolina. We're different from a lot of places. A lot of us are related to each other. We probably got a bunch of cousins sitting right here, and some of us don't know it. Senator Lindsey Graham makes a joke. He said when he was a young lawyer up in Oconee County, he'd have some real country people come in sometimes and ask him some funny questions, and one of them they'd say, well, Lawyer Graham, if we're married in South Carolina and divorced in Georgia, are we still cousins? Pretty good question. But we have to educate. We have to educate. We have to train. And that's all the way from kindergarten all the way up. In every kind of school, there's a place, I believe, for every student. I remember my favorite teacher was my 4th and 5th grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. H. Moody Henry. She lived on Trunham Road, over sort of by Mays Park. I loved that woman, and I knew she was at least 100 years old. But she did, in fact, live to be 100 years old. I went to a funeral, and it brought back all those memories of being just a youngster at Satchel Ford School with Ms. Henry. I'll never will forget her. And there's students out there that will never forget you. They'll never forget their teachers. What an important opportunity to have a major impact on the future of our state, on the future of every individual child. That's why we have to do all that we can do, to see that we fulfill our obligation as adult South Carolinians to get these children started from the very beginning and to provide opportunity for them to go as far as they can go. And we can do that. Now, some folks think everybody in government knows a lot. Some people think people in government don't know anything. The truth is probably somewhere in between, but I'll promise you this. If you have a good idea, don't keep it secret. Let us know. My door is open. The legislators here, there's Rita Allen. She's an expert on education. Tell her. Tell Tommy Pope. I don't see it. I know there's some more here. They back there voting on things. Why aren't you back there voting on something? Lunchtime, all right. But we have a lot of work to do. And the things that I've been doing with my team and ideas that I've tried to implement have been recited there more, but we want to keep those schools safe. We want the teachers to be inspired, to be happy, to be paid well, and not have to worry about safety while they're there. And I'm convinced, I know we've got the best law enforcement in the United States in South Carolina. I know we've got, with our ports, with the mountains, with the oceans, with 2 inland ports, with universities that cooperate with each other, with the best technical solid system in the whole world. All these things, we have beautiful weather, beautiful places like this. There is nothing that we can't do if we try. And I think the next 5 years are going to be telling. I think the die is going to be cast in a number of directions in the next 5 years. So we have to be careful and work hard. Just a couple of stories and I'll finish. I had some interesting classmates, but somebody told me a story about one fellow. He was way out in the country somewhere, and he was called on as a teacher. Don't remember what grade it was, but they were studying pi r squared and those kind. What grade does that come up? What? 6? That's a former teacher of the year right there. That's Jennifer Wise. I just nominated or appointed her husband to be the director of the Department of Insurance. So we need to be sure he gets confirmed by the Senate, Tommy. You tell him what to do. Anyway, the teacher called on the little fella and says, Johnny, I want you to please explain pi r squared. He looked around, shuffled, and says, can't do it. She said, well, go and give it a try. He says, it's impossible. Cannot be explained. He said, why is that? He said, well, everybody knows pie or round, cornbread or square. You ain't heard that? Let me finish up. I love this. This is great. Thank you all, the sponsors. That's how we do things. And I want to invite you. This place is your place. Peggy, where's Peggy? Peggy, stand up. Shake your hand. Come on, girl. Come on. Stand up. Stand up. Thank you. That's my favorite wife right there. Peggy and the garden clubs, the Columbia Garden Club, various other garden clubs, South Carolina, they did all this work to get this ready for the people of South Carolina, and we will do it some more. So I thank all of you, thank the sponsors, and one more story just to help you remember. This is one about the traveling salesman. He'd go around all over the United States selling whatever he was selling. And when he was away from home, he would find, if it's on Sunday, he'd find a little church, go to church. So he was up in one of the cold states, and it was Sunday. He found a church, went to a little reception hall next door, went in there, and there was a payphone. This was a few years ago. Some people here remember a payphone. I know some people in here remember a payphone. So there was the payphone. He looked, it had a little note on it. He looked at it, went over, it said, calls to heaven, $10. He thought, that's interesting. He didn't have that much change, so he didn't make the call. Well, he's in another town, another place, another Sunday, went in a little social hall. Sure enough, there it was again. A little sign over the payphone said, calls to heaven, $10. He started looking for it everywhere he'd go. Sometimes he'd see it, sometimes he wouldn't. Well, he came to South Carolina. It was Sunday, found a little church, went to a little social hall, getting a cup of coffee, looked up. There was a payphone, there was a sign. Calls to heaven, 10 cents. He said, this is different. I wonder what this means. The preacher came by and said, hey, preacher, come and tell, what does this mean? Everywhere else the calls to heaven are $10. This sign says 10 cents. The preacher said, that's easy, son. In South Carolina, calls to heaven are local calls. You got it? Y'all remember that, but just make sure it happens. Thank you for being here.
I love so much of what Governor McMaster said, and one of the things that sticks with me is we can all, each of us in this room, probably remember not only our first or favorite teachers, but everyone, all of our teachers. And I say that to remind you of just how valuable each of you who serves in whatever capacity as an educator, what you mean to each of us in this room. We could not be here without you. So again, Governor McMaster and First Lady McMaster, thank you so much for hosting us today in your beautiful home. Each year, we are delighted to present the Charles H. Dickerson Community Service Award, and this year is especially special because we are doing it here on the grounds of the Governor's Mansion. So it is my pleasure right now, though Kim Dickerson Layton, the daughter of the late Charles Dickerson, is usually present for this. She's unable to be with us this year because of medical reasons. But Ken Reynolds of Bojangles will present today's award on her behalf. Please welcome Ken to the stage.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Bojangles and the Bojangles Foundation, I am honored today to announce this year's winner of the Charles Dickerson Community Involvement Award. The late Charlie Dickerson had great respect for South Carolina's teachers. He admired their courage, their strength, their compassion, and their dedication, a pillar in the state's business community. Charlie worked with the South Carolina Department of Education to create the Palmetto Horizon Foundation, a foundation designed to develop partnerships between private industry and public schools to promote education and to recognize outstanding teachers. Charlie was a civic giant known for his warmth, kindness, and enthusiasm. His community involvement was unparalleled. Each year, we honor his community activism by presenting the Charles Dickerson Community Involvement Award to the outstanding district teacher of the year who has served his or her community with distinction. This year's award winner exemplifies Charlie's values. She ensures her students' work is featured and appreciated outside the walls of her own classrooms, connecting them with their community. She serves as co-chair of a community's steering committee that brings together parents, educators, professionalism, and community members to create a true community of leaders. From right here in the Midlands, the Charles Dickerson Community Involvement Award winner for 2023 is Caroline Carson. Carolyn actually is an art teacher at Rosewood Elementary School in Richland School District 1. So Caroline receives a really beautiful crystal with her name on it, and then she also receives $500 from Bojangles, and her organization that she wants to support will give a $500 donation as well.
Congratulations, Ms. Carson. The 2023 recipient of the Charles H. Dickerson Community Service Award, and I also want to point out that Mrs. Dickerson is present and seated at the table. Ms. Dickerson, if you'd like to stand. Thank you to the Dickerson family for your continued involvement in today's program, and Bojangles for that $1,000 monetary award to the annual Community Service Award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please join me in welcoming to the stage our State Superintendent of Education, the Honorable Ellen Weaver.
Well, Governor, I have to thank you for making one of those local calls and getting us this beautiful weather today. Thank you so much. Y'all, what a joy to have this gala in the garden where we celebrate the noblest profession on earth, that of being a teacher. We have a lot of thank yous that I need to run through, and I'll try to keep my remarks brief because I know we want to enjoy this beautiful grounds and just the incredible day that we have in front of us. But of course, I want to start by thanking Governor McMaster and First Lady McMaster for hosting us today and for the amazing staff here at the Governor's Mansion as well as in the Governor's office who have been such a big part of helping us pull this off. I'd like to thank the members of the State Board of Education who are here. We have, I think, a quorum nearly. We probably ought to be careful about that. But we also have members of the General Assembly who are here today and really appreciate them taking the time. Chair Lady Shannon Erickson, who introduced you all in the balcony in the House today, came to the lunch, had to run back because of business, but she has provided calendars of the House that has each of the names of our Teachers of the Year printed in it, and so we will be sending those out to you after this program as a souvenir of your day in Columbia. I hope it's very special. Of course, we need to thank our presenting sponsors, without which none of this would be possible. I hope this event has helped you to feel honored and celebrated and energized. And as was mentioned earlier today, there are so many teachers who can't be here today. And so I hope you can take some of that love and that energy back to everyone in your school building, whether that be a teacher, a janitor, someone who's working in the cafeteria, your administrative staff. We know that it truly takes an entire community of compassionate, dedicated people to make education in this state possible. So please take our thanks back to them for everything that you and they do every day to serve and to support our students. But our sponsors today, of course, our presenting sponsor, BMW, our five-star sponsors, Clemson University College of Education, Dominion Energy, and the University of South Carolina College of Education, our platinum sponsors, Bojangles Restaurants, Data Recognition Corporation, and Michelin North America, and our gold star sponsors, Jostens, Leadership South Carolina, and the Palmetto State Teachers Association. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our fabulous MC. Carolyn, thank you for being here today. We know we can count on News 2 in Charleston, so it's a pleasure to have you with us. And of course, to the Department of Education staff who have put so many hours and so much blood, sweat, and tears into creating this wonderful event that we are enjoying today. So thank you all so much. Please join me in giving a round of applause for our sponsors. I feel like we all are having a moment to kind of walk down memory lane a little bit. And as I think about my own education journey and the fact that everything I have done in my life has been made possible by what a teacher poured into me, I couldn't help but think about some of my favorite teachers in my public education experience. I think about Mrs. Jacobson, who was my algebra teacher and did the impossible in helping me pass math. I was admittedly a word nerd, not a math geek, and so that was a challenge, but she taught me perseverance. And as we all know, you have to stick with it if you're going to get anywhere in life. And so I'm so thankful for the example of perseverance that she set for me. There was Dr. Kreitzer, who was my choral director in high school. And music is something that I love. Governor, it's something I still do every Sunday at church. Governor and Mrs. McMaster are sitting up there in the balcony, and I'm down in the choir loft. And so it's something that I still get great joy from today. It's a wonderful stress relief and a wonderful way just to serve my church community. But that's all because of what Dr. Kreitzer poured into me and the love of music that was so evident in his career. He could have been anywhere doing anything, and he chose to be a high school choral conductor. God bless him. And then there's a teacher who I think was maybe the most impactful on my life, Dr. Francis McMahon. He had a PhD from the University of Chicago and again came back to teach at his alma mater because he loved his local community and he loved the subject that he taught. But he was my AP US history teacher, my AP econ teacher, and really put me on the trajectory that my life has been on to this day. And so when I think about Dr. McMahon, and I mean, he was a personality. He was tough on us. He was very tough on us. He had a big cutout of John Wayne in the back of his classroom, which was totally random, but we thought it was kind of cool. And he was somebody somebody who always encouraged us to go to the original source. He really made us dig and think. And that's obviously the most important skill that we are teaching our students, is we give them that foundational skill of literacy so that then they can have the critical skills of thinking that they need to be successful in life and to fill all those great jobs that Governor McMaster and his team are working to bring to South Carolina. But in closing, I really think about what the teaching profession means here in the state of South Carolina, and I can't help but think of a South Carolina teacher who was born in the late 1800s in a little town in South Carolina called Maysville. Anybody know where Maysville is? Okay, we have a few people who know where Maysville is in Sumter County. Well, this little girl, her name was Mary McLeod, and she grew up in poverty. No one in her family went to school. No one in her family could read or write. To make ends meet for the family, her mother took in wash. And one day when she was delivering the wash with her mother, a little girl made fun of her because she couldn't read. And in that moment in time, Mary determined that no one would ever make fun of her because she couldn't read again. And so she enrolled in school. She worked hard. She actually became a teacher as a child because she would come home after school every day and teach her family how to read and write. She went on to go to college. She moved away from South Carolina for a little bit, came back and taught in 2 different schools in Sumter County, ended up moving to Florida with her husband, where she started her own school for little girls just like her who didn't have the opportunity of a great education. And that school has now become Bethune-Cookman University, so her legacy lives on today. And so as you all enjoy this day, as you go back to the State House to be recognized in the Senate later this afternoon, I hope you'll take a moment in our beautiful historic State House to look up at the stairwell going up into the House. So you all be going this way into the Senate, you need to look this way up into the House, and you'll see a beautiful portrait of Mary McLeod Bethune hanging there. And I hope that you will take a minute to admire the artistry of the portrait, but I also hope that you will take a minute to remember the legacy of her as a teacher, as a civil rights leader, and as a South Carolinian. Mary McLeod Bethune was a future builder. And that's what each of you all here today are as well. You are building the future of this state that we love. I tell people everywhere I go, I've never met anybody who loves the state of South Carolina as much as our governor. And I think that was evident in his remarks today. But I know that this state is special to all of us. And the opportunity to serve this state, to serve the people of this state, and most importantly, to serve the children of this state is the honor of the lifetime that I don't think any of us can ever take for granted. So again, I hope that this celebration today has made you feel loved, has made you feel seen and supported and encouraged, and that you can take this energy back to your local community, new vigor, new energy, for us all to work together to make South Carolina the very best that it can be. Thank you so much for being here today.
Another round of applause for Superintendent Weaver. I really enjoyed your remarks. And of course, another round of applause to all of our sponsors who've made this event so special, so memorable for all of us. We certainly would not be here today without the support of one company in particular, our premier sponsor, BMW. BMW recognizes the importance of celebrating South Carolina's incredible educators, and this marks the 26th year that they have awarded the winning teacher with one prize we all have to admit that makes us a little jealous: the use of a brand new BMW. So please join in welcoming BMW's Manager of Government and Community Relations, and I already asked him if he had another set of keys, and he doesn't, so don't ask, Max Metcalf.
Thank you, Carolyn. I can tell you, though, I know where we can send an invoice to you for one. So I'll send it to the station. Thank you all. Thank you very much. To Governor McMaster and Mrs. McMaster and Ellen. I'm sorry, Ellen and I've known each other for a number of years. So glad that you're now our superintendent of education. Thank you. Great team. She probably doesn't want me singling out members of her staff, but I will say this to Laura Bain and to Evers Thordahl, wherever you are, and raise your hand, or you're in the back, and to many others, her chief of staff, Larry Huff. They have been great to work with. This is not an easy event to put together when you've only been in office about three and a half months. And so thank you very much. On behalf of Dr. Robert Engelhorn, our president of BMW Manufacturing, and our over 11,000 team members that we have at Plant Spartanburg, we actually want to say thank you to you, the teachers, because you're letting us be a part of celebrating you and what you do. It is extremely important to our company every year that we stay engaged in education throughout South Carolina, and this is one way that we can give back and make sure that you know the value that we as a company place on education. Also on behalf of the sponsors too, and I was glad that Bojangles was here. I'm sorry others weren't here to speak, but we do thank all of those sponsors that participate. So Ellen, thank you for pointing them out. You know, now y'all started this trend about talking about your favorite teacher. I kind of didn't have a choice first grade through fifth grade. My mother was the elementary school PE teacher, so I had my mother every day for 5 years. I was the only one, the youngest of 5, and I'm the only one that had that. But my mother brought sisters and grandchildren and nieces and nephews into the education community as teachers as well. So when I got to BMW 2001, I found out we were just in our first or second year, I guess. I got some team members sitting up here that we did this event. And I told Bobby Hitt, who was our manager at the time, I want to be at that event every year. Jennifer, sorry, the 1 year I missed was your year. That was an embarrassing moment earlier today. That I wanted to be there, and because of how much it meant to me personally to be able to do that. My wife is with me, and we have a wonderful daughter who is now out of college, a year out, public school in Greenville. If it had been up to us and not having the intervention of teachers, she would still be in 4th grade because we were a little overwhelmed by new math since it had been a while since we had experienced any math, and I won't tell that story because it'll embarrass all three of us. But I do want you to know that as parents and employers, this is extremely important that we do this. I can't imagine a year of not celebrating teachers and doing this event. And so for BMW, we're in this to stay. This is something very important. Car or no car, we're in it to stay. But I want to say that for the other employers too, and Wayne, I feel like you're on a path of, of cherished careers. You did manufacturing, now you've gone into teaching. Are you going to be a preacher next or so, But thank you, because that transition is just fine with me, because you understand manufacturing, as a lot of other teachers here probably do, and that's what we're all about. We have got a manufacturing state, thanks to our leaders, both from the governor to the General Assembly, to the local county councils and mayors. We are a manufacturing state, and the skills and the education and the outpouring of interest and enthusiasm for manufacturing is not greater than any other state than it is here in South Carolina. And the technology and what we're doing every day, from people making F-16s to Boeing airplanes to vehicles, all kinds of chemicals that go into other products, it's complicated. And so we need you. We need to be your partner, and we want you to call on us, not just one day out of the year for something like this. Please let your employers in your area, your manufacturers, know what can they do to help you that in turn helps those kids that are in schools. So on behalf of our company, and again, all of our employees, we want to say thank you so much for what you do. Now, I've got this key, but I can't do anything with it yet. So I think we got an announcement or two coming up, but look forward to it. Thank you all for letting us be a part of it again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Metcalf, and Superintendent Weaver is going to join us on this stage in just a couple of minutes. But in addition to a brand-new BMW manufactured at BMW South Carolina plant to use for 1 year, the state's Teacher of the Year winner will also receive a $25,000 cash award appropriated by the South Carolina General Assembly. In addition to that, $2,000 courtesy of Bojangles and a special commemorative Jostens ring. The winner will also participate in Leadership South Carolina, one of the oldest and most respected leadership programs in the country, and the Education Policy Fellowship Program. All ready? And so now we ask Superintendent Ellen Weaver to do the honors.
This is the moment that we have all waited for, and I would just like to say that I am so proud of all of our 5 finalists. They represent the depth and the breadth of the teaching profession here in South Carolina. We have such a wide range. Our CTE teachers, our English teachers, elementary, high school, rural, urban, the diversity of our teaching profession is truly represented in this year's finalists. And while I wish we could select all of them as the Teacher of the Year, our distinguished panel of judges has selected Mrs. Renee Atkinson as the South Carolina Teacher of the Year. Renee, please join us on the stage. Let's take a picture real quick and then we'll let you get right over here. Here's your. Here you go. Would you like to say a few words?
I think it's clear I'm very overwhelmed. And while words are usually my forte, I have struggled to find the words to describe what an honor it would be to be named South Carolina Teacher of the Year. I am only one of over 50,000 teachers in this state who work without ceasing to provide quality education for the students in our state. Only one of an amazing group of District Teachers of the Year who work tirelessly to represent their communities, to speak for their colleagues, and meet the needs of students in their classrooms. Only one of 5 fantastic finalists who demonstrate the lengths they go to daily to build relationships with their students, to implement strategies to meet their needs and give service to others. I am humbled to be part of a collective group of people who have made a commitment wholeheartedly to serve the children of South Carolina. That is the greatest privilege. Being a teacher means giving fully of yourself and your talents to help others achieve their greatest potential. It's building relationships, providing service to others, and loving others enough to help them reach their goals that they never thought possible. How blessed am I to be one of you. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Renee, and we have a short video from someone else who wishes to extend their congratulations. If you take a look at the video behind us. Yeah, we call this technical difficulties in my business.
of children. We really appreciate your mark on the state of South Carolina, on our community, and the teaching profession. Congratulations.
And we certainly appreciate Congressman Fry with that special message. But before we conclude, we also want you to know that the floral arrangements that you all are gushing about on your tables, those were provided courtesy of Senator Scott, who wishes that he could be here and wants to know all of the teachers to know how much he appreciates the impact that you have on your students and on the community every day. And with that being said, congratulations again to our Teacher of the Year. Congratulations to all of the finalists. Congratulations to the teachers who improve our lives every single day. We appreciate all that you do and all that you say. And also special thank you to the Governor and First Lady for inviting us to the Governor's Mansion. That concludes our event. As a reminder, our District Teachers of the Year, you are invited to reboard the bus. Yes, you're getting back on the bus, as you instruct your students to do every day. You're invited to get back on the bus to head back to the State House for recognition by the South Carolina Senate. Thank you all for coming today, and a special thanks to all of our sponsors. Travel safely. Good day. We are going to play the video one more time of Congressman Fry. Yes, we are. Okay.
A huge congratulations to you, Renee Atkinson, for being selected as South Carolina's Teacher of the Year. For over 20 years, you have touched the lives of hundreds, thousands of children. We really appreciate your mark on the state of South Carolina, on our community, and the teaching profession. Congratulations.
I know that I was just reminding you to board the bus, but we actually do have a few very important housekeeping notes. We invite all of the district teachers, all of the winners, to please come up, and you are allowed to take one of these beautiful bouquets with you. So again, another way to show how much we appreciate you. And then I got a tap on the shoulder about some BMW keys that someone needs to receive. So let's make sure that happens while the cameras are rolling.
Renee, congratulations, first of all. We're excited to have you as our South Carolina Teacher of the Year, all of us, and from BMW and our 11,000 employees, we're excited to have you being able to go and visit schools throughout the state with the small item of South Carolina produced product, BMW X5, a brand new BMW X5. We just came out with this model. My colleague Greg Bunner will help you with it when we get over there. But congratulations, and we expect it back in 12 months.